Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bluebird and Bee Tarot. I am so excited that you are here today to dive in with me into this very emotionally satisfying and emotionally high stakes question of the current energies between you and your soulmate. So we've got three really amazing decks that I specifically picked out because when I touched them, I felt like they were just zinging and resonating with energies around this topic, which is the Siamese Tarot, which was created around myths and legends in Thailand. And then we've got the Rosebud Tarot, which is in its second printing now. It has a different back, but I think the fronts of the cards are mainly the same. This is just a truly awesome deck. And then we have the Zillick Tarot, which is a watercolor art-based tarot created by Christine Zillick. And I'm going to show a card from each of these so you can kind of take a look at the artwork on the decks and not just the backs of the decks. So I chose the Lovers because I feel like that's a very highly connected card when it comes to being in union with your soulmate. So this is the card in the Siamese Tarot. Okay, and this is the Lovers card in the Rosebud Tarot. It's got very Gentleman Jack energy, if you've seen that TV show. Reminds me of that. And then this is the Lovers card in the Zillick Tarot. Alrighty, so go ahead and meditate on that if you need to rewind and look at the artwork on the cards again. If you need to take longer than I give you during the video to choose, you can pause the video. If you're drawn to more than one pile, of course, that is perfectly fine. And in fact, that could actually be the answer. You might have messages in more than one pile. So yeah, definitely you could be drawn to all of the piles and have messages in all of the piles. But I'm going to give you a moment now to just kind of look and dive into your feelings and see which pile you are drawn to. The timestamps are down below and I will see you at your pile. Hello, Pile 1, and welcome to your reading. So we are about to dive into all of the juicy, nuanced, multi-layered energies that are happening between you and your soulmate. And I did forget to mention during the intro that there will be an extended to today's reading where we will dive into all the juicy, nuanced, multi-layered energies that are happening between you and your soulmate between the sheets. So yes, it will be an 18 plus and it will be getting juicy. But before we get to that, let's get into all of the YouTube friendly energies that are happening. Wow, frog in my throat. So already I'm thinking maybe blocked throat chakra is one of the things that is happening here. But yeah, let's dive into the cards and let's see what the actual things are that are happening here. So, Spirit, tap me into the energies of Pile 1 and their soulmate, please. What is going on between Pile 1 and their soulmate? Okay, Pile 1. Now, this is interesting because So I do, first of all, feel like blue and purple might be really important energies for you here, because with this first card that came out, Vagabond, we have really prominent blue feathers on the parrots. Her dress is blue. We've got turquoise here. And then we have two instances of amethyst here. We have amethyst on this wealth card, and then we have on the chakra balance card, we got the only illusion is separation. And the stones mentioned are blue lace agate, amethyst, and new jade. So yeah, blue and purple seem to be very prominent colors. And then, yeah, amethyst seems to be a very prominent stone. So yeah, working with amethyst in your meditation practice, or even keeping it close to your bed while you're sleeping, or wearing it on your body, that could be something really powerful. So first of all, I feel like physical distance is a possible factor here, because we've got the idea of separation, and then we've got vagabond. So moving, constantly moving. And so yeah, this could be energetic. This could be that this person just has this consistent urge to move on to the next new thing. And that doesn't necessarily have to be geographic. That can also just be in life. It could be in relationships, that they are just distracted by the new shiny partner. Yeah, this could be, so limerence is, well, it describes a lot of the feelings that happen even at the beginning of a healthy, balanced relationship, but it is really like taking those sort of beginning feelings of, you know, those crush vibes feelings of the beginning of a relationship, and just they get blown all out of proportion. Any psychiatrist or psychologist watching this are probably like, that's not what it is. It has a clinical description, but I'm not going to like spend all day diving into the depths of it. Let's just say, for simplicity's sake, it's crush vibes amplified 1,000 times to an unhealthy level. So this person might take that as like, that's what love is. You know, that's what actual, you know, true love is if you only always feel those sparks, those fireworks, those butterflies consistently. And yeah, with these two parrots here, that may be, they may be repeating into their own mind, into their own programming, an ideal that they were exposed to early on, either by media or by people in their lives. Yeah, and I think a lot of times when, you know, kids are truly fortunate enough to grow up with, surrounded by happy couples, happy parents, happy grandparents, happy aunts and uncles, you know, good relationships, they do kind of end up idealizing those relationships a bit because they saw the good parts. They didn't see the, you know, 7-hour long conversations when you have a conflict and there's no good answer and you're just trying to work it out. And it's, you know, this frustrating circular conversation where nothing seems to get solved and we're going over and over the same points again. And so when they are in relationships and they encounter those kinds of like, we have to, you know, this actually takes work, we have to work on it, they think, well, this isn't love then. I need to start looking for the next thing because I thought this was going to be the real thing, but it's not the real thing. Yeah. And especially, so this turquoise card says overcoming challenges, pure intentions, and friends first. I think that is really significant here. That's the phrase that really jumps out at me. You're like, oh, really? Because you've just spent 20 solid minutes talking about overcoming challenges. Is that the phrase that jumps out to you? But it is. Because I think the fact that the two of you are friends, because I feel like this is a real friends to lovers situation here. And maybe you're still in the friends phase. Like maybe there are a lot of people watching this who are friends with this person and wondering if it's going to bloom into something more. But I think that that's going to be a real benefit when it comes to reaching this place where it's a crossroads moment for this person. It's a place in the relationship where they would normally veer away and just be like, you know what, this wasn't meant to be. But with you, there's already so much history built up. There is likely already times when you have had to work things out. Because with friends, we kind of expect that, you know, at times there's going to need to be compromise. Like with friends, there's not an expectation that everything's going to be a perfect fairy tale. So yeah, the two of you might have already had to make decisions together, work things out, compromise. That might already be baked into the DNA of your relationship. So when you do have challenges to overcome, yeah, you're going to be used to it. It's going to be something that you have a pattern for. Okay, I will also say, yeah, again with this, the only illusion is separation. This does also make me think that geographic separation could be a part of this because, yes, so I have been binge watching Jewish Matchmaker and Indian Matchmaker on Netflix. No judgment, please. I do, in fact, enjoy a good reality television program from time to time. But one thing I did notice is that's different about Jewish Matchmaker and Indian Matchmaker than just sort of what I, as just like your classic vanilla American modern person, think of as dating, is they have such specific requirements for who they want in a life partner that it seems to be very normalized that you get matched up and date with someone across the country and you actually even fly to your first date. So yeah, if you or this person have like some very specific requirements about who you are looking for or who you click with, then yeah, those requirements may necessitate that you're not going to just find that by like the person you run into at work or the, you know, ways that people would normally just sort of run into each other without finding that person intentionally. And yeah, it's interesting to me that this card said the only illusion is separation. And so I think that, yeah, the idea that you don't have to be in geographic proximity to have very powerful energetic exchange. I think that is something important here. With wealth, I think that this person is likely takes a lot of their, like their self-conception, their self-identity, their security from their bank account or where they're at in their career. They might be chasing that a lot right now. And so if there is something about your connection that would mean that it required a lot of effort and a lot of work, like more so than some other connection. So like say it would require traveling or it would require some kind of disruption to their career or their wealth building, that could be a real hang up for them. But because I feel like their journey of chasing the bag is very central to their identity, if there is a place where the two of you connect on your careers and they feel inspired by you to, you know, explore different arenas in their careers in their career rather, or maybe they do have more than one career. Maybe they have multiple hustles. But yeah, I feel like if you are interested in their career, if you support their career, if you make them feel inspired where their career is concerned, that is only going to just skyrocket their feelings for you. Yeah, I feel like a big part of the energy here is that I think the normal equation, the normal math that they do when it comes to relationships is this relationship worth what I would need to give up for it? And I think that the new equation that you are introducing them to is how much does this relationship add to my life? And I'm not willing to give that up. Which is obviously really good compared to how they have conceptualized relationships in the past. But even a change for the better is still a change, and people are often uncomfortable with it. It often makes them nervous, and they just don't know how to deal with it. They don't know what the next step is or how to put it into words, how to talk about it. So yeah, I don't see this as a relationship that doesn't have any challenges. I see it as a relationship that is very deep, that has a solid foundation of friendship, that is incredibly beautiful, and that the two of you fit incredibly well together, not only on a soul level, but with your goals in life and where you're going in life. But there's going to be a process when it comes to really committing to each other. That's not going to be the easiest journey, I feel. Yeah, I will say this feels like either a relationship that is still in the friend stage, or sorry, I got distracted by the Two of Pentacles coming out. Okay. A relationship that is ADHD. Sorry about that. A relationship that is still in the friend stage, or like you took a stab at a relationship and now you're in a period of rest or no contact and you're hoping that it's going to flourish again, that kind of thing. This feels like a relationship that is very much like waiting to see what the next step is going to be on your part. Oh, it's the Four of Pentacles. Okay, he's standing on Two of the Pentacles. That's where they are. I'm like, wait a second. That's why it distracted me for a second, because I'm like, it says Four of Pentacles, but I only see two, but he's standing on two of them. Yeah, I actually feel like I want to get 5 cards. I was planning on, just because of the size of the cards and versus the size of the board, I was planning on getting, might have to overlap these a little bit just to fit them in, but 5 feels right now that I've pulled the first 4. Okay. Yeah, the interesting thing about this Nine of Swords card is the thing that jumps out to me the most about the artwork here is how this person just looks exhausted. I think that's you, pile one. I think that you love this person, and I think that you want to be with this person. Like more than anything, maybe. But I feel like you are so exhausted. Okay, so interesting that we got 2 9s here. Because, yeah, 9 is to me the number of almost. 10 being the number of completion, 9 being the number of like, so close I can taste it, but still not there. And that's why I think that you are tired, pile 1. I feel like you have spent what feels like decades in the energy of so close I can taste it, but yet still not there. Like you could reach out and your fingertips almost brush it, but you can't grab it. And yeah, for anyone that has had to wait for something for a really long time, you know that the hardest time is when you almost have it. I mean, think about the idea of senioritis, the last week of school when you're a senior in high school. You would think, I've done school for 13 years at this point. Maybe even more if you went to preschool. What's one more week? But no, that's not how human brains work. The truth is, like, when you are right at the finish line, when you are about to cross it, that is when it is the hardest to just maintain. And in fact, it's not like it's super common, but it has happened that seniors who have already been admitted to very prestigious colleges end up getting their admissions revoked because they just fall apart their last semester of high school. It's like they have been, so there's this Matt Nathanson line that says, I'm held together by clothespins and tension. And I feel like, that might be what that senior, like the idea of getting into this college, there was so much pressure. They were operating on the adrenaline of expectations and pressure. And as soon as they found out they got in, all the tension went away and they just collapsed. And I feel like that's where you are right now. You have been held together by clothespins and tension. And I feel like you do wonder, how much longer can I keep going in this energy? And honestly, I feel like that is actually a really good question to consider, because there is no shame in taking an energetic rest. And many times, actually, an energetic rest is exactly what we need and what the connection needs. If you can't take like the pain, the roller coaster, the mysterious not knowing about the future, if it is really messing with your energy, with your happiness, with your spiritual health, maybe even with your physical health. Yeah. Because, with the 5 of Swords too, I feel like that is what is very difficult about this, is just the conflicted energy of you want this so bad, but this limbo period is so hard. We can even see that in the 4 of Pentacles, where the 2 pentacles are in one place and the other 2 are in the other. I couldn't even find them at first. Yeah, so I feel like there is one part of this relationship that is so beautiful, that is on the surface where it's easy to see, but then one part of it that is very hidden. And in fact, these 2 pentacles are under this figure's feet. And that may be how you feel about this connection, that you are being stomped by it, that you are under its thumb. And with the High Priestess, I feel like if you need to reach a place where you need to embrace this 9 of Pentacles energy, this, standing on my own boss babe energy, that came out right on top of wealth. So if this is about, you chasing the bag, you becoming, very badass in your career and your position in the world, but also with this High Priestess card, focusing on spiritual up-leveling, maybe embracing meditation, or, I feel like really working with crystals with all of that energy that came out in the Oracle cards. I feel like working with crystals is a very clear advice from Spirit that would be a good path for you. Yeah, I think this person might need a break. I was about to say to think about what they've done, but then I was like, that sounds like you're getting a little kid in trouble. Like, you need to sit and think about what you've done. And maybe they do. Maybe they do need a little time out, a little time in the calming corner. But I do think also that maybe they need a little time where they figure out what life is like without your energy, because I feel like even if the two of you are in no contact, they can still feel your energy because you are thinking of them so fondly, so achingly, with so much desire. And I feel like, yeah, that is affecting them energetically. So yeah, I think actually taking a break, energetically taking a break from this connection, and just really focusing on your own growth, both materially and spiritually, could truly be very healthy for you, but also even very healthy for them, so they can sit and think about what they've done, but also just healthy for the connection, because it gives the two of you the freedom to grow independent of one another and then come back together when you are in your 2.0 forms. I want to hold you and never let go. That's interesting that came out on top of the Four of Pentacles, because that is the energy of holding something or someone really, really tightly to you. And many times, like, that's a double-edged sword, right? Like, that many times can edge over into like obsessive or like holding on to something a little too tightly. So yeah, that could be an indication that, yeah, like there is a sweetness to them wanting to hold on to you, but also it might not be the right thing right now. I enjoy your company, but don't want a commitment. Yeah, because they're a vagabond. They are giving into their vagabond nature, whether that is, true geographic vagabond or whether that's just shiny object syndrome vagabond. We have come too far to give up on us. Let's start over. Yeah, I think that I do. I think that came out from the very beginning of the reading, that this is kind of the lesson that this connection was put into their path to learn, I think, is that you don't actually just dump and move on to the next at the first sign of trouble. When you are emotionally invested enough in a person and in a connection, you actually work through it when you hit a rough patch. And I will wait for you as long as I have to. Yeah, I think that's interesting, the word wait, because I do think that this connection has been, first of all, in a holding pattern for a long time. It has been in limbo, but I think that it's time to enter another kind of waiting period, where you are kind of waiting in the sense that this connection isn't coming into union just yet, but you're not just waiting, in that you are very focused on yourself while that is happening, like while that period of no contact or not in union is happening. Alrighty, so now we are going to grab some letters, numbers, and charms. Okay, and I do just want to remind you that there is an 18 plus extended for this reading if it resonates and you'd like to hear the dirty, dirty stuff. Also, I am available for personal readings. The description or the instructions are down in the description. And yeah, I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to join me over there, I would love it. Love it, love it. I am working on getting more active on both of those platforms. It's a process. Alrighty, let's take a look at some letters. Okay, so we have Z, N. It's interesting the Z and the N came out right next to each other because Z and N are two letters that look very similar. They're just one faces one way and one faces the other. So I do think that there's a message there that it's like this could be right in the middle of the connection, like an N, or it could be the end of the connection, like a Z, just depending on the perspective that you look at it from. And I think that again is the lesson that this person is learning is, oh, this is a number. That's the lesson that this person is learning is that, like a connection is only really over if you say, well, that's over. If you have the perspective of let's work on this, then that's the perspective. That's the reality. Okay, then we've got Q, T, cutie. Oh, that's adorable. And also adorable is what I think that they look at you as being. We've got Y. So this, we don't have all the letters, but this makes me think quality, quietly, and quantity. So quantity versus quality might be something that they are looking at in their mind as well. Like, yeah, one relationship that you really put effort into and make it quality, is worth so much more than 20 relationships, a quantity of relationships that you don't really put much effort into. Yeah, and then with quietly, I feel like that is a reference to resting, taking a bit of an energetic break from one another. Then we have X. So yeah, this could be wanting to, have a second or third or fourth or fifth go around with someone that you've already had a relationship. And I also am noticing XYZ. So yeah, again, that also gives me the idea that this may be a relationship that has come to an ending at some point, and you are envisioning a potential new beginning. Okay, then numbers. So these numbers can indicate birth month, birth date. It can be life path numbers, engram numbers. It can be personal things like address or, their football number or anything like that. So we've got 6 and 6 matched pair energy. And then a 69, dudes. Then we've got a 3 and a 5. And these can also be mixed and matched into 2 or 3 digit numbers as well. Righty, so now we are going to grab some zodiac signs. Okay, Aries, Taurus, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, and now we are going to pull some charms. A lot of charms came out. Yeah, look at this oversized heart. Yeah, there's so much love here. And here we have another heart, but it's the peace symbol inside the heart. So I think that that might be something that, that you want to have in this connection, but that is elusive. And here we have a dove also symbolizing peace. Okay, so we've got the 2 6s, and then we've got these 2 helms that came out. So yeah, again, that's matched pair energy. And again, with the helm being like, this connection goes where the 2 people involved steer it. Yeah, it's spirit emphasizing that the importance of making choices. Then we actually have 2 matching flowers, and flowers being one of the oldest and most well-established symbols in existence, meaning love, meaning making an offer of love. Yeah, okay. All right, then we've got this little bunny playing tennis here. So yeah, and then we've also got another rabbit here. So yeah, with vagabond, like fast moving, wanting to move on to a new place. With this playing tennis, that might symbolize hot and cold energy, like the volley is just going back and forth. But yeah, with this, oh, I forget, what do they call the people that make the announcements in medieval times? But this rabbit is doing that. So I feel like that's going to be, there will be a profession at some point, some sort of like announcement of feelings or of a way that things are going to change or moving on to the next phase, if that makes sense. Yeah, then we've got binoculars. So I feel like even if the 2 of you are no contact, they are likely keeping an eye on you via social media, via mutual friends, just to make sure you're okay, I feel like. But I think it would be disingenuous if they were to say that they didn't have any interest at all in knowing if you've moved on with someone else, because I do think they're looking for that as well. But I do think that they are also interested in just knowing that you are okay. Then we've got the starfish and the turtle here. So yeah, I think that, so with the starfish being, 99% of times when we say, like, I found a starfish, it's like the old shed shell of a starfish, or that starfish has sadly passed on to its starfish reward. So yeah, I feel like this is a message about like leaving the past behind. And when it's time to move on to a new era, you are able to pivot. You are open to that. And then with the turtle, yeah, I feel like this is spirit saying, don't try to rush this. It needs to go at its own organic pace, because rushing it is kind of the one way that this could be destroyed. And, kind of like the 4 of Pentacles, like a little like fragile animal, you can't squeeze it too tightly. You have to be very gentle with it. And I feel like this connection right now could be compared to a little fragile animal. You can't squeeze it too tightly. You can't rush it. Also, I do want to point out that there is a fair amount of nautical imagery here. So yeah, maybe this person, so that could have to do with like beach stuff, ship stuff, ocean stuff. There could be, maybe the 2 of you lived by the ocean. Maybe one of you grew up by the ocean. Maybe one of you is really into like ships and, nautical navigation or, something like that. Alrighty. So that is what I have for you. I hope that it resonated. I hope it gave you, some food for thought, some insight, but I also want to wrap this up by letting you know that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Okay, bye. Okay, hello, pile 2. If you chose the Rosebud Tarot, then you have arrived at your reading. We are about to dive into all of the energies that are currently existing between you and your soulmate. And I did forget to mention during the introduction that there is going to be an extended for this reading. And we are going to, in the extended, dive into all of the current bedroom energies between you and your soulmate. So all of those naughty energies. So yeah, but right now we are going to dive into all of the YouTube friendly energies that exist between you and your soulmate. So Spirit, tap me into the energies between pile 2 and their soulmate, please. Tap me into the energies between pile 2 and their soulmate, please. Yeah, I will say if you were attracted to pile 1 at all, I think that there are similarities there. The prominence of blue and purple color scheme, and then the amethyst was a stone that showed up pretty prominently in pile 1 as well. So yeah, you might want to check that out. Also, I was kind of coughing and clearing my throat at the beginning, and I made like a half joke about that could mean blocked throat chakra energy. So yeah, I mean, like every single thing here is tying in. But yeah, so I think that the two of you, if you are talking at all right now, I think that you are saying very surface things that have a lot under the surface. And I think you both know that. Like, I think that you can both kind of tell that you're reading between the lines. You know, there's a lot going on between the lines, but you're only speaking the lines. You're not speaking what's actually happening between the lines. Yeah, with Cave Lake, I think that this was a person who dropped into your life unexpectedly. I don't think that this was a person that you went looking for a soulmate, that you thought that you were going to find a person like this. I think that this person has really been very disruptive in your kind of what you accept in your life, what you believe in your life, what you compare other situations to in your life. Maybe they're not the smoothest ride, but it's definitely been the most breathtaking ride. And now I feel like you're kind of in a place where you're like, if it's not that, I don't want it. But I think that you're also kind of regretting that because, yeah, I think that this, it's hard to put into words. I can feel it. Like, I can feel every edge. I can feel every nuance. This interesting because with throat chakra, that may be a phenomenon. I may be catching that from your energy. The energy of the connection is that both of you know what you want to say. Both of you know the truth that you want to express to the other person, but you just can't put it into words. At least not words that will adequately capture the fullness of the way that you feel. Yeah, because I feel like just a very direct kind of surface statement, like I'm sad or I'm mad or this is not fair, or, things that are simple like that. I don't feel like that even comes close to scratching the surface of what each of you feels and wants to express to the other. Yeah, and I'm noticing too that there's like some dancing light that has come across the board as well. And so that gives me the idea of, like you're trying, like if I were to try to catch this light, I mean, it exists. We can all see it, but it's not something that you can hold on to. It's not something you can grasp or catch. With this failure card, I mean, there is definitely, what is pictured here? A moth and a flame. Yeah, I feel like you are so drawn to this connection at the same time that it is slowly destroying you bit by bit. I do think that one thing that could help with this, though, is really truly telling your truth. That might be really scary. But if you have reached a point in the connection where it's kind of not getting better and that truth is just really wanting to burst forth from you, and yeah, I feel like the actual truth of what the two of you are, the significance of it even, may not come out until one or both of you reach the point where you're like, there's nothing left to lose. I can't take this anymore. And it's just kind of, you're bursting with it. Yeah, this, you know what's interesting? Actually, I think that this is true. I'm going to check. Yeah, this is true. So the, amethyst was very prominent in pile 1 in the other cards aside from this card. And this card, this crystal card, was turquoise. And now we have turquoise coming out as the chakra love card. So yeah, there's just so that might be very symbolic of the fact that pile 1 is you and this is your person, or pile 1 is your person and this is you. With this idea of like, this was amethyst and this was turquoise in pile 1, and now this is amethyst and this is turquoise in pile 2. Role reversal, roles flipped. I also am seeing the angle that this moth is pictured at in the failure card, and that it's bringing to mind the phrase crash and burn. So maybe you have crashed and burned, maybe even many times before. Or this could be a fear that you or they have about even getting this started, because it's kind of like a nihilistic point of view of like, what's the point? It's just going to crash and burn. Yeah, but speaking your true heart, I think, could be such a turning point here. But you have to do that from a place of knowing that the only thing that is guaranteed with it is that your truth will be known. You can't say, well, I'm going to speak my truth and that's when they'll reciprocate my feelings, or that's when they'll finally open up to me, or that's when we'll finally come into union, or you can't have any expectations of their response. And I feel like the reasoning behind that is because otherwise it's not truth for the sake of truth. It's truth for the sake of triggering a specific and wanted response. Now, does that mean it's not truth? Of course not. It is the truth. Your feelings are the truth. But I think that the specific situation that Spirit is saying would be the true turning point here is when you have to express it regardless of what happens next. When you finally reach that point where regardless of what happens afterward, you just have to say how you feel. You just have to. You can't not say how you feel. Yeah, so amethyst and turquoise, I feel like, could be really powerful crystals for you to work with. They did come up so prominently in pile 1 and in this pile. And aside from just, the direct reference to amethyst and turquoise, the crystals, there is such a prominence of blue and purple in the color scheme. And then here on the amethyst card, we have attracting new love. And the fact that it says new, I think, is pretty significant because, even if this is someone that's been in your life forever, in order to have a new era of the relationship based on truth, it's going to have to be a new way of relating to one another. And then calming upset feelings and getting clarity. So yeah, I feel like working with amethyst could really bring you to a place of peace where you are truly at peace with whatever reaction the truth triggers. but also getting clarity. Because the other thing that you know will definitely happen, aside from your feelings being known, is that there will be some sort of response. And that response will give you, if nothing else, information. Information about what their feelings are, information about what they can handle, about where they are at in their journey with you, but also in their own spiritual journey. So yeah, I think that neither of you are at the place where you are compelled to speak the full truth to each other yet, but I feel like that's where this is headed. Oh, I'm holding the deck upside down. Okay. Yeah, emergence. Yeah, absolutely. When the truth emerges, when the truth comes out, that is when this connection is going to begin to transform from caterpillar to butterfly. And I think it's interesting that we got butterfly imagery here and then we got moth imagery here. Because, yeah, I sort of think of moths as the poor man's butterfly. I mean, that's not true. That's not what they are, but they've always kind of held that position in my own mind. So, yeah, I think, like, when you are a moth, you are controlled by the flame. When you are a butterfly, you control the flame. You rise up into butterfly energy when you are owning your power, when you can speak your feelings and expose your heart and make yourself vulnerable and know that regardless of the response of the other person, that doesn't take your power away. In fact, it's even more powerful to own your feelings because you are saying, whether the response that I get from you makes me joyful or sad, it doesn't affect who I am as a person. I know my own power. I will say there does have to be a little bit of an emotional remove for that to be true, I think. Which I think that you don't have right now, and probably your person doesn't either. Like, I feel the two sides of this journey as being very mirrored. I mean, I think that the details of how it's manifesting into the 3D are different for the two of you, but it's some similar foundational issues. Yeah, that's interesting that as I was talking about how, like it's similar foundational issues, then we get the 3 of Earth, which is the 3 of Pentacles, which means, you know, being on the same team. And so, yeah, that's interesting because I do feel like maybe you are on a team. Because teams usually have a purpose, right? Teams want to conquer something or accomplish something. So I think overcoming these hurdles together is likely when the two of you, like right now, you're attacking them very disparately. And I think it's a very scattershot approach. But when you can team up and, you know, both of you are going on this journey together and trying to accomplish this together, that's when I think you can actually make some progress. Yeah, I do think that in order to make clear-headed decisions about when the time is right to have this conversation, though, and to really just, I think that you need to have at least some ability to view this entire journey dispassionately. Which, of course, sounds impossible when you're so caught up in the very fraught, very intense emotions of the journey. Yeah, that's not an overnight process, gaining that distance. But I think that is the goal. That is that's the thing to try to work out in your mind, to try to figure out. Almost like it's a puzzle. Yeah, so with it being almost like it's a puzzle, maybe trying different things. So trying meditation. Trying maybe even distracting yourself, by focusing on friends, focusing on career, focusing on maybe you have an animal. Yeah, maybe you have like a puppy or something. Yeah, just things that will help you go into butterfly mode, things that will take you out of moth mode and send you into butterfly mode. Okay, here is another kind of side rabbit trail about this is with the curiosity of fire and the 3 of earth right next to each other. I think working on a passion project together may be a way to, get a little, do some bonding, but also get some distance. Like, spend some time together where you're working on something that's outside the two of you. So it's not just like, hanging out where there's no real purpose of it aside from spending time together. And it's so, it's the dance, it's the flirting, it's the not really knowing, but there's a purpose. You're focused on something else. And I think something that the two of you are really interested in. So maybe, being on a sports team together or working on a creative project together. Maybe doing some volunteer work together, something like that. I think that could be a way to, raise your own vibrational energy, emerged into this fully formed butterfly, because you're so excited and, caught up in this purpose and having a purpose in this thing that the two of you are doing together. It allows you to see them in a different context, like a context that has a purpose. Yeah, and then you have this teammate energy and you have this kind of joint journey together. I think that could be really useful. Yeah, let's get some channeled messages here. I have unresolved feelings I need to work through. I really need your warmth and affection. Yeah, that's one thing is I noticed there's no real cups energy here. So that may be something that they are even nervous to let themselves experience, is your warmth and affection, at the same time that, like that moth, they're really drawn to it. I will wait for you as long as I have to. Yeah, that card came out in pile 1 as well. Another connection to pile 1. I need some time to collect my thoughts. Yeah, I feel like that's interesting with this little pocket of air energy, of swords energy that came out, because that is like, I need to collect my thoughts. I need to remove myself from the emotion. I need to get my thoughts together. So this also might be a very logical person, very logic-oriented person, a very concrete thinker. I see my future with you. Yeah, I think that they, oh, okay, these two kind of fell out as I was moving the deck, so I'll put them out. My feelings for you are platonic, and there's a huge void in my life since you've been gone. Yeah, I wouldn't freak out too much about that. My feelings for you are platonic, because yeah, I think that with this Three of Earth, there is a very strong foundation of viewing you as an equal, as a teammate. And I mean, honestly, that's the best foundation. Yeah, let's get some letters, numbers, and charms. Alrighty. So there is going to be an extended. The links are down below. If this resonates with you and you want to see what the naughty energy between you and this person is. Oh, the interesting thing too is that could be that pile 1 is about one person for you and pile 2 is about another person. Because, I mean, we can't have more than one soulmate. Soulmates come into our life for different reasons. But this really feels more to me like one connection, two sides of one connection. But that doesn't mean it has to be that way for everybody. Also, if you want to get a personal reading, the instructions for that are in the description. Oh, that's a fair amount of letters that came out. Okay, we've got T, J. So yeah, Tijuana could have significance. Also, I just thought of the phrase TMJ, which has to do with your jaw. So yeah, and we got throat chakra was one of the oracle cards. So yeah, a lot of energy around the mouth and speaking and opening your mouth, because TMJ, your jaw can get, where you can't really open it. P. Okay, PT is physical training. So, like maybe this is a project that you guys might want to enter into as being fitness buddies. Got R, G, D, V. Oh, with DV, one or the other or both of you might have a background in domestic violence. If that's you, I'm really sorry that you went through that. It was not your fault. I know you've probably been told that from many people in the past, but let me be just the latest to chime in and let you know that it was most definitely not your fault. We only have DVI here, but that makes me think of the name David, so that could be a significant name. Also, this is obviously going to be only very specific reference if you grew up near where I grew up, but there is a prison near where I grew up called DVI. So yeah, one person in this connection or someone that you both know or one of you is like important in one of your lives, maybe in the justices. Oh yeah, there's a J right here. May be involved in the justice system or may have spent time incarcerated. Okay, there's 2 J's, so that makes me think of the nickname JJ, or yeah, maybe there's like similarity in initials, like you have the same initial, something like that. Let's see. Interesting that there's only the one vowel. I mean, I know I'm a broken record with the similarities to pile 1, but only one Val came out in pile 1 as well. RG makes me think of regulate. Oh, and we have a T as well. Yeah, regulate is the word that came to mind there. So that song regulate may have significance, or just the idea of there being some sort of rules that the two of you have to follow, and that has some sort of impact on your connection. Okay, so these numbers can be birth month, birth date. They can be engram, life path. Okay, we've got 0, 0. So yeah, matched pair energy, just like with the J and J. We've got 7, 4, and 5. So you can also combine these like 74, 75, 40, 50, etc. Okay, we got Capricorn, Pisces, and Leo. Okay, so with the dinosaur here, there could be an age difference between the two of you. Yeah, and with the owl as well, that's giving me the idea of, the wise old owl. So, but this also could be not chronological age. There could be a maturity difference between the two of you. This bicycle with the one big wheel and the one small wheel also gives me that idea of there's some kind of difference between the two of you. Age, maturity, size, maybe. Yeah, one of you might be a little shorty and one of you might be super tall. Okay, so this feather is giving me the idea of just floating on the winds of the connection, the winds of fate, and being able to sense when the winds are changing and pivot right away, just like a feather floating on the wind would. But this is interesting because then we have this arrow, and that to me is the energy of being very carefully aimed. So I do feel like there is a balance to be struck between aiming, but also recognizing when the circumstances are changing and being able to pivot. Okay, so with this tree, to me, that is soul family. That is family tree. That is the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So yeah, I feel like the two of you likely, it's soulmates. So this is unsurprising. Knew each other prior to incarnating. You've probably incarnated many times together before. Yeah, you are soul connected. You are soul family. You are soulmates. And then finally with this little Tinkerbell, here, that really gives me the idea of this person has magic and they are able to, metaphorically sprinkle fairy dust onto you, onto your life. Everything feels more magical when this person is around. And I think that was one of your earlier indications. Maybe you hadn't put the term of soulmate on it yet, but one of your earlier indications that this was different. This is special. And yeah, Spirit is saying, don't doubt that. The sureness that you feel about that is real. This is magical. This is special. but that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Just because something is magical doesn't mean it's going to be easy. And you know what I think is interesting is people always say, like, I just want a fairy tale relationship. Well, maybe read some fairy tales, because there's some dark shit in there. Like, it's not always smooth sailing, even in a fairy tale, and definitely not in real life. So even if you have hit like bumps and pain, and this journey has gotten difficult at times, and maybe now is even one of those difficult times, that doesn't mean it's not magical. That doesn't mean it's not special. Don't doubt yourself. What you feel is real. Alrighty, so, thank you so much for being here. Again, if you are joining me in the extended, I will see you there, where we will get into the naughty energies. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I hope that I will see you next time. If this resonated, I would love it if you would like, comment below, subscribe. Yeah, what else? Oh, personal readings, instructions are in the description. I would love it. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as well if you wanted to join me over there. As of now, not a whole lot has been happening over there, but I'm working on changing that. So yeah, I hope that this resonated. I hope that this brought you some insights to mull over, gave you some food for thought. And I want to wrap up by letting you know that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Okay, bye. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. I am very excited to dive into this very, very juicy topic of the current energies between you and your soulmate. One thing I did forget to mention in the introduction is that there is going to be an extended for this reading, which is going to be the energies between you and your soulmate between the sheets. So yes, we are going to be getting into the naughty 18 plus energies in the extended. But for right now, let's dive into the, YouTube friendly energies between you and your soulmate. Let's find out. Spirit, tap me into the energies of pile 3 and their soulmate, please. Tap me into pile 3 and their soulmate's energy, please. Okay, so this is so interesting, pile 3. First of all, the very first thing I notice is the color similarity between the Aura Quartz card and the Dark Sky portion of this Joy card. And the fact that Aura Quartz, the very first thing is help from the angels, and then we also have spiritual match here. And then on this Joy card, there is such a significant portion of the card that is taken up by a representation of the celestial realm, which is so beautiful. Yeah, and yeah, I also am getting, so with perseverance here, and then out of chaos comes creation, I think that there is a big theme in this connection that, like, it's worth waiting for. That there is a significant, you're going to have to go through significant trials. I just heard the phrase trial by fire. Yeah, and I'm noticing here, too, that 2 of the stones mentioned on this chakra card are carnelian and red jasper. Like, these really red, fiery stones. So yeah, I think that this is a connection meant to kind of make you earn it. Like there's like a fairy tale or a myth or something like that about a king who, like put out a call to all of the, brave knights that might want to win the hand of his daughter, and they had to go through these trials, and the whole nuances of the story are not coming back to me at the moment. It might have involved something to do with a dragon, not really remembering all the details. Hi, ADHD. Nice to see ya. But the point being that there was something that they had to do to prove that they were worthy of winning the connection. But, as in all good stories, right? That when they went on that quest, there were a lot of things they learned about the world and about themselves. It wasn't just about winning the relationship. The relationship was just kind of the carrot that kept them going. And many times, personal growth, spiritual growth is so hard and so painful that we wouldn't keep going if we didn't have a carrot as awesome as the promise of a relationship with the soulmate. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a big theme in this connection, is that it's a trial by fire. And if the prize were literally any other thing, fame, wealth, power, like I don't know if anything could make you or this person stick with all of the personal growth that is being accomplished in this either preparation for union, or maybe even after the two of you are already in union, you're jointly going through this trial by fire. But nothing could make you stick with it except the promise of this person. That's the one carrot that exists in the world that is powerful enough to draw you forward. Yeah, that's such a powerful metaphor. It's something that came to me actually a couple months ago in a personal reading, and immediately I was like, hi, I'm talking to myself right now. But I was like, yeah, that is just such a perfect metaphor for connections like this, for connections that really, like, they're gonna drag you through hell before you get to heaven. Yeah, wow. And chaos, I think, is such a perfect word for what I feel that the two of you are going through right now. Because I feel like it's almost like being on a roller coaster, and it's whipping to one side and you're thrown to the other side. And, when it's going upward so quickly, you're thrown to the back. But as soon as it starts falling, you feel like you're lifting up. And the laws of physics are such that it's like wherever the connection is going, you're sort of whipped in the other direction. And I think you might be getting a bit of whiplash. I think that might be part of what's going on here. And you are wondering, well, first of all, you might be wondering if this is even worth it, if this is worth all the damage that this is doing to your soul and maybe even your body, definitely your emotions. But I think that there is like this burning flame deep inside you that refuses to be put out, that is just like, yes, this is meant to be. And I think that it's really impossible to get past that. And I think that there are these moments, maybe they are rare even, but they exist and they are real, where the two of you do sync up. You look into each other's eyes. For a moment, you are on the same page. And in those moments, I think is the purest form of joy that you have ever experienced in your life. And I think that ultimately it's going to take more than what you are going through right now to get you to give up on that. And the other thing that I just thought about with these sunflowers. So sunflowers do this really beautiful thing where their faces are always tilted toward the sun. I would imagine that's one of the reasons why they are called sunflowers, in addition to the fact that the actual faces of the sunflower kind of look like the sun. But when the sun goes down and there's no more sun for them to tilt their face toward, they tilt their faces toward each other. They become each other's sun. So I think that might be something that is happening here. Is Spirit is in the process of stripping away every other thing that either one of you can use as a distraction. And then you will turn toward each other. Then you will see the value in each other. Then you will see how you are each other's sun. You are the source of energy, the source of bliss, the source of joy for each other. And I can feel you out there, pile 3, going, I already realized that. Why do I have to go through all of this? And yeah, I don't know. It sucks. Like we've all been in this position, trust. But yeah, for some reason, even if only one person needs to learn a particular lesson, both people in the connection kind of go through the learning process at the same time. And I mean, perhaps that's just, a good training for actually being in the connection, because when your souls are intertwined, when your lives are intertwined, if something happens to one, it happens to both. So maybe this is Spirit saying, like, this is a good opportunity for you to either be all in or all out. I think you're going to be all in, pile 3. I think this person eventually will be too, but I think that, maybe because of their background, or maybe just because of their base personality, they're a little more comfortable in the chaos than you are. I think maybe they're a better compartmentalizer. Maybe it's not that they're comfortable in the chaos. Maybe they're just better at ignoring it. Yeah, I think I think it's just going to take more to get them to the place where they have the realizations that you have already had. Yeah, for them, it might take a full-blown tower moment. Whereas for you, just, the emotional ups and downs of the connection itself were plenty to let you know. Yeah, I also think that it's interesting how if you look at the sun that's pictured on this perseverance card, when I lay it down on the board, like, it really disappears into the board. It's got a similar color as the board. It's got similar grains as the board. And so I think that is a metaphor for the sun disappearing into the background. It's not really gone, but it's blending into all of the other events that are happening. And that's like these sunflowers when the two of you will turn toward each other. Okay, Knight of Wands. Yes, Knight of Wands going on a quest for the sake of passion. Why is that exactly like that fairy tale or that myth that I feel like it would be giving myself a lot of, like, it would be a very generous statement to say I remembered it during the oracle cards. Let's just say I was reminded of it during the oracle cards. But yeah, exactly this. A knight going on a quest to win the hand of a fair maiden. That's the instigating energy here. Yeah, this horse is like, could you maybe hold that torch like a little further away from my ear, please? I would appreciate it. Okay, and then the very next card we get is also something that I talked about during the Oracle cards. Alrighty, yeah. So yeah, for this person, I feel like things that they have always clung to give them validation, identity, happiness, those things are going to kind of crumble, at least for a while. And I feel like you're going to hate watching that happen, because I feel like such a pure love for this person from you. But I think just try to be there for them as best you can, and try to do your best to remember that this is part of a process that is being divinely guided. This is the pile, I think, out of all the three that I'm getting the most sort of divine intervention on. Yeah, I feel like the two of you just have very invested spirit teams that are like, all right, not just a phrase. We are literally going to have to move heaven and earth to make this happen. Okay, Four of Wands. Yeah, this is your person. There's so much fire in the imagery here. This could be twin flame. I mean, twin flame is higher level soulmate. Twin flames are also soulmates. So, yeah, that certainly wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, that's interesting that I did say that this connection is the one that seems to have the most supernatural stamp on it. And then the card that comes out is the High Priestess. Yeah, because that is about a connection to the divine. A lot of major arcana here. A lot of major arcana here, and then, you know, when it comes to minor arcana cards, the Four of Wands is not playing. Like, the Four of Wands is extremely powerful and very iconic. Yeah, with the Hermit card especially coming out connected to the High Priestess, this is about spiritual ascension. But I think that this is about the two of you, I think, ascending together, though. I mean, look at the intertwined hands on this Four of Wands card here. Yeah, look at the interplay of the yellow and the red. This is about what the two of you can accomplish spiritually together. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm not one of those readers that really subscribes to the philosophy that, like, oh, you need to heal and then you can be with your person. I mean, I feel like if you just look around the world, you'll see ample evidence that there are a lot of unhealed people who are with their person. So yeah, I don't think that you need to be completely healed to be with your person. I do think in a lot of connections, there are specific woundings This spirit is like, this needs to be healed before you can handle this connection with this person. But I feel like that's very different than just being like, you know what? You better wrap up all that trauma or you're not worthy of love. Like, I don't believe that at all. But I do think that this is one of those very powerful connections where spirit is like, this and this, you guys need to go through and heal before coming into union, because otherwise you are going to just drive this car straight into a brick wall. So these things need to be healed before coming into union. Once you're in union, then this and this and this is the next steps on this ascension journey that you're going to do together. Yeah, I think that this is a very special connection. This is one of those connections that is legitimately written in the stars, I would say, pile 3. And here's the interesting thing is I believe that in 99.9% of cases, when a connection has this much celestial power behind it and is like this fated and this like driven by the universe, it's generally not for the purpose of just your own personal growth or your own personal happiness or your person's. It's generally because it's something that the two of you are meant to give to the world that you can only give together. Like there's an energy that the two of you generate together that the world needs. And so that is why. So yeah, I think, and especially like look at the, red and yellow make orange. I think that sums this up in a way that nothing else really can. Like one of you is red and one of you is yellow, but the world needs orange. So yeah, you guys might be involved in something where like one or both of you have a platform, with this High Priestess card and this Hermit card, those two cards together to me kind of scream, traditional religion, organized religion, or some sort of like group spirituality. Definitely doesn't need to be mainstream. I mean, it can be, a very loud truck just started right outside my window. It's hot here. I have the windows open. So sorry if you're picking up ambient noise and I'm just too hyper fixated on the reading to notice it, but that was very loud. So at any rate, I was saying, yeah, so it definitely doesn't need to be something mainstream. It can definitely be spirituality. It can be outside of the box. I mean, maybe both of you have gifts and abilities. Maybe both of you are tarot readers, or maybe both of you are into Reiki or something like that. But yeah, there is something that the world needs that only the two of you together can give it. Yeah, yellow and red make orange. The world needs orange. Oh, love that. Thank you for your support. I could not do this without you. Yeah, and that came out right on top of the Tower card, which that is so freaking interesting because when that Tower card came out, I said, I think that it is going to be really painful for you to watch this person go through this Tower period of their life because you have such pure love for them. And I think everything in you is going to be like, I want to do it for you. I want to take on this pain for you, but you can't. You can only support them. And then right on top of that card comes, thank you for your support. I could not do this without you. Wow. So yeah, when they are going through this kind of dark night of the soul moment, as rough as it will likely be to watch that happen to them and not be able to do anything really except for just provide support, that actually could be a really profound step in your souls bonding together. What I am most in need of, you cannot give me. Yeah, I mean, what they are going to also feel like they need during this tower moment is for you to take it on for them, for you to do it for them. But you can't do that. That's not how this kind of work works. We all need to do our own work. We can't have another person do it for us. And as much as we wish we could do someone else's work for them, that's not how it works. And 5 more sentences that involve the word works. It hurts me to say we should go our separate ways. Yeah, I mean, so this Hermit card right here could be referring to a time, and maybe you are in this time right now, where the two of you are more either full no contact or just a little bit more energetically distant from each other. That is often a phase that happens in connections where spiritual ascension is a big part of it. Yeah, this situation is messy. Oh, and I have met someone else and want to pursue that connection. Okay, well, that's hard to hear. But again, with this Hermit phase, with this energetically distant phase, I feel like especially coming out right next to this situation is messy and then being followed up by following up, we should go our separate ways. Yeah, I think Spirit is trying to prepare you that there could be a very scary and painful time in this connection where you are on different pages and the 3D is showing you that this is over, that they have moved on to someone else. And I feel like Spirit is like, with a connection this powerful, if you really believed that that was the truth, I mean, it could be enough to drive you a little batty. But Spirit is like, no, this is a phase. Keep the faith. Like, I do also want to point out, though, that during these phases, like, it's not about 3D actions that you take. So I'm not saying, like, keep messaging them, pester them pester, that's a very petty word to use, but, like, give them their space. This phase that they're going through, or this part of the journey that they're going through, they need the space to go through it. They need to learn the lessons they're learning during this period. So honor their wishes. Obviously, like, in this current time, especially where we have hopefully learned the importance of boundaries and honoring them. Yeah, if a person tells you that they need space, we honor that in our 3D actions. But in your emotional space, in your energetic space, in your 5D space, I feel like Spirit is giving you a heads up about this ahead of time so that you don't have to get to a place where you've kind of lost all hope and it all seems very dark. You can understand that this is a part of the journey. This is all part of the journey. Alrighty, so let's get some letters, numbers, and charms. Oh, where did the letters go? Oh, there they are. Okay, so yeah, like I had said, there is an extended down below. If this is resonating with you and you'd like to know the sexy, naughty energies between you and this person, if you'd like some insight into that, I would love it if you join me in the extended. Also, if you would like a personal reading, the instructions for that are in the description as well. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram, although it's been a while since I've posted. I'm working to remedy that, but I would love it if you join me there too. And also, if this resonated with you, I would so appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, comment below. That means so much to me personally, and it also really helps the channel to grow. And it helps these messages get in front of more people who, yeah, need to see them. I really that's my number one goal with this channel, is to just get these messages out to people who need them. Alrighty, so we have T, S, U, M. Okay, so that is hilarious. Spirit's being sassy. So we have STFU, which stands for shut the fuck up. So yeah, I think that really goes back to this end part, that like if this person has told you that they need some space, the best and really only thing you can do in the 3D is shut the fuck up. Yeah, that is hilarious. But energetically, you can hang on to hope. So we've got W. Okay, yeah. WAY. So that's really interesting because, so I don't know, this is, I feel like Spirit's being sassy today. Spirit's got jokes. But, yeah, I think that this is maybe because there was so much celestial symbolism in this reading. But when, I saw the word way here, I was raised in a faith tradition, and so that really got steeped into my brain very early. So a lot of the references, metaphors, verses, songs, etc., that pop into my brain are from that faith tradition. And there's a song that we used to sing in my church when I was growing up that says, God will make a way when there seems to be no way. He works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way for me. So yeah, I feel like that this word and that song is really like, Spirit is like, yeah, STFU, that's what you do in the 3D, but in the 5D, you understand that Spirit is working on making a way. And especially in moments when there seems to be no way, that's when you hang on to that knowledge that Spirit is making a way. And then we've got I in. So yeah, in, yeah, I think that the symbolism of that is about, you can't be halfway. You can't be half in and half out of this. Which is not to say that you can never take an energetic break. Anytime you're feeling like your rubber band is about to snap, take an energetic break. Refuel yourself. Absolutely. But I feel like, if you are just constantly riding the fence, riding that like, I want it, but do they want me back? Like, that's going to do nothing but torture you. You're not going to get any of the benefit of the journey that this connection is meant to draw you on. You're only going to torture yourself. Like, if you know yourself well enough to know that you can't handle a connection this intense, walk away. That's fine. That's free will. We were all given that, and Spirit and your spirit team will support you in that. But if you are going to be in this connection, be all in. Surrender to the spiritual journey that this connection is drawing you toward. That's the only way to do it without absolutely losing your freaking mind. Okay, so these numbers can be birth month, birth date, birth year. They can be engram numbers, life path numbers. So we've got 4, 8, 2 and 2. Oh, and 4 and 4. Oh, that's interesting because it's a little pattern. It's a little, oh, what is that called? Is that I don't remember the name of it. School has been a while ago, and I have ADHD. But yeah, we've got like counting 0, 2. Yeah, it's like when you add up, like 0 plus 2 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. Oh, there would need to be a 6 here for the pattern to stick, but then, yeah, so we've got 4 plus 4 is 8. Interesting. So it's like two of those little patterns. Yeah, I don't really know what the meaning behind that is. I just think it's interesting. But I do think it might have something to say about the fact that you may have been noticing little synchronicities just popping out at you in life since you've been in connection with this person. And you may not have really known what the significance of all of them was, but you're like, it definitely is odd, and it definitely has something to do with this person. Okay, so we have Aries, Taurus, Capricorn. Oh no, Cancer. I just saw the C. And Gemini. But since Capricorn popped into my head, let's just go ahead and say Capricorn also in the mix. Okay, so we got a tree and a leaf here. So definitely with the tree, that is soul family. To me, that is, yeah, the branches, the roots, that's family tree. That's the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. So that is just like very interconnected, rooted, strong soul family energy to me. But then with the leaf also coming out, I would say, so the fall, where leaves are turning colors and falling off the tree, and then the spring, where the leaves are growing back, could be important seasons for this connection. So those are like the transition seasons, and then winter and summer would be the seasons of stasis. So transition seasons, both, symbolically, but also literally could be really important in this connection. Yeah, and this connection is spiritual in nature. Like, that just keeps coming up. I mean, even during the reading, I was like, out of all three piles, I feel like this is the connection that's the most supernatural. But with this wrench, I feel like that is spirit saying, like, yeah, this is a supernatural, magical, fated connection, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to require 3D work. You're still two human beings attempting to forge a human connection that's going to require compromise, that's going to require work. Yeah, and with this seahorse, I mean, that is very much, again, that is soul family energy. That is, you've been connected for eons. You're meant to be connected in this 3D incarnation. You'll be connected, even if only your soul's connected in the 5D, through this entire incarnation and beyond. And then finally with this dove here, I feel like this is spirit just sending you the message that really embrace peace in this connection. Because the connection itself, especially as it's going up through the phases toward union, but even after union, the connection itself is going to give you a lot of really amazing things, but peace is probably rarely one of them. You are going to have to embrace that energy on your own. You are going to have to find that peace within yourself, because this connection is intense. This connection is fiery. This connection is a roller coaster ride. This connection can be peaceful, but it is only one of the many energies that this connection very quickly cycles through. So in order to live peacefully, which is what spirit wants for you, you have to find a place of peace within yourself that you are bringing that to the connection. You can't expect the connection to bring it to you. Alrighty, so that is what I have for you. If you are going to meet me at the extended and we are going and to take a look at like the 18 plus naughty bedroom energies of this connection, I will see you there. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me here. I hope to see you again. And I would love it if you would subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. But I hope this reading resonated in a way that was helpful for you, that was useful for you, that gave you some pieces of information that you can mull over and that will be really effective in, framing your decisions around this connection. But I want to wrap up by letting you know that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Okay, bye. Hi, I wanted to go through the decks that I used in today's reading in case that was something that you were interested in. So I'll do the tarots first. So the first tarot deck that I used is the Siamese Tarot, and that is based on Thai myths and legends. Okay. Okay, and then we have the Rosebud Tarot. And finally, the Zilach Tarot. It's a smaller edition. It's in a tin. Okay, and then for the Oracle cards, so this is the Love Crystals deck by Midnight Oracle. Okay, and then this is the Natural Adventure Oracle. Okay, this is the Earthbound Oracle. Okay, this is the Chakra Love Oracle. Okay, and then finally for channeled messages, I used the Messages from the Heart by Lightworker Tarot and Oracle. Okay, thank you so much. And I am going to wrap up again by letting you know that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Okay, bye.